Hey guys, Jeffries here. God, that was quite loud. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome back to the Jeffries network on OpenTTD. Let me unpause the game for a second. We start over here at Plentborough. I've done some rebuilding with Plentborough, a little bit of rebuilding. I've double tracked the express lines going through. They're not dedicated tracks anymore, it's two platforms in each direction. Just to ease congestion, because we had a massive problem with congestion, trains getting in each other's way and basically messing up the entire timetabling system. As you can see, there's a bit of a queue going on. Freight trains passing across the front also doesn't help, but that is part of the network, so I'm not going to change that because I quite like the way that works. I did say I was going to show you a rebuild that I've done off camera, that I did off camera, that I will do off camera, whatever the grammatically correct term would be. Not really sure why this train is sat here for so long. Reset your late counter. It is going to have to set off in the it's going to have to set off in the wrong direction, turn around somewhere and head back. I think it will turn around probably here. I might put a separate track in just for turning purposes. That would seem like quite a useful thing to do. Anyway, so you can see the scars left over from the rebuilding work. I'm quite happy with that. If it works, it works. It should work. Let's show you the rebuilding that I've done over at GSP. So I said last episode that GSP is now bigger than it used to be. I'm just having a look at this train as well, because for some reason you're running late. Okay, that's the problem. Who did that? That is not good. Dinfield Park, Gardcity, Pinfinberg Airport. There we go. And then back to GSG. You will do that for 500. This was not meant to be today's episode. And you will wait for 2500. There we go. That's probably one of the causes of the problem. We'll skip to your next stop. Off you go. Okay, so over here, these have now swapped round. This used to be Woowood GCX, it's now GSP. This is GCX, it used to be... this is GSP, it used to be GCX. This is GCX, it used to be GSP. Now you'd think it would make sense to have this side here GCX, this side here GSP... Oh God, too many letters. This side here GSP and this side here GCX because of the way the junction used to work. However, if we come through this way is GSJ in all its glory. Again, we had a bit of a train pile up here, but that seems to have eased off again now. There's Diamond Hill. We'll come out the other side, and here is why it is what it is now. We have a new dive under built here, which takes the trains round into GCX. This little section here is a new depot that I've built, Lonway Sidings and Lonway Depot. This was a big patch of green land anyway, so I thought I might as well use it for something. I chucked a bridge in here just to try and connect these two parts of the city up a little bit more. And overall, seems to be working quite nicely. Trains running in and out. Now, we have 8 tracks here going in and out of GSP. Used to be 6, there's now 8. So I added a new set of platforms here at Tardinghatton, plus took out the platforms in the centre, as these are now express lines. Maximum speed of 100 miles per hour, formerly 60 miles per hour. This metro line is now populated. I'll talk about that in a second. GSP, the terminating platforms have been shifted over slightly. They now connect directly to the metro platforms here. This is now an 8-track through and a 4-track terminating stations. And also I've turned the King's Cross thing sideways for no real reason other than I still wanted to fit it in. It's okay here. It's not too bad. Trains come and go. They don't tend to get in each other's way, so I'm quite happy with that. And if we follow the tunnel through here, Dinfield is now also an 8-track station. And the express tracks will also go through here. Some trains stop, some trains don't. What is going on? I have to pause the game every time I want to do some finite adjustments now because of the lag that we have. Yeah, I thought this would be messed up as well. Why does it do that? I need to see if I can find a fix for that, because that's really frustrating. Really frustrating. I wish it wouldn't do that. Skip. Because it just holds up all the other trains, and when you're trying to autofill a destination, it becomes a massive pain in the backside. See, the tracks become overgrown because the little use that it's actually getting. So that needs to change. But that was about it for the rebuild. The airport down here is still the same. This road here will come into use at the end of today's episode. That's why it's being built. I might even sort of build a tunnel and connect it over here instead. This is the airport line. I'm quite happy with this one actually. It's a bit unconventional, but I'm happy with how it turns out. So it starts here at Gardcity Pinfinberg Airport. You remember we built this single track line, so it goes through Dinfield South. I built a new passing loop here. Then it goes to Frunham Valley. Another passing loop here. Goes to Lenston. Long tunnel here. It goes to GSP, which itself is a passing loop, but also starts the double track section. Prutfield Valley. Now, Gruborn, I was going to connect to Tradinghattan and have it as a combined station, but actually I decided in the end to keep them separate, because otherwise we'll end up with oversaturation on the routes as well. Almost like we have with high speed, but we've just about avoided it with high speed, so I wanted to avoid that. We have a new station here at Rendingston Mill, and then it joins up with the main line right outside Bell Street. From Bell Street it runs through to Bendinghead using this other little junction that we've got here. Originally the line was going to go through GSMA. It doesn't do that anymore. It goes to Bendinghead instead. Tronfingley West, Tronfingley Docks, you know the route by now, follows the circle line basically all the way through here. Even follows the circle line through Gimple Bridge. Gimple Bridge East, Gimple Bridge. That's technically south, so I might need to change that. That's also not north, that is east. Well, I'll fix that off camera. Goes through Plunfingford Central, and this is where it starts to get a little bit different. So it goes through Ranwell Ridge. It then stops at Munford, where it unloads and doesn't load. It then runs via the Munford Loop into this platform, loads up again, and then runs back via Ranwell Ridge, Plunfingford Central this way, except after Gimple, instead of going to Gimple Bridge East, it actually goes to Tindhead, and then comes all the way through here via these platforms at GSJ, and then up here via Plenville Heights, Windsor Point, and Slundingston and Woowood. And at Woowood it then goes via this new track that I've built down to Chatbourne Airport, and then runs back to Pinfinberg via the Munwood Loop again. So it connects the two main airports of Gardcity that are currently in existence. There will be other airport lines in the future when we add more airport lines, but we are not doing that today. Today we're focusing on road transport. Something that people have sort of been asking me about for a little while now, and I keep putting it off, and I keep putting it off, and I keep saying, not going to do it now, I'm not going to do it now. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm not going to do it now, I'll do it some other time, but eventually you run out of mananas and you actually have to do it. So we are doing it today. You'll be pleased to know, you'll be very pleased to know, hopefully you'll be excruciatingly excited to know that we are going to do it today. I'm just going to do a little bit of rebuilding here. You have to forgive me for pausing the game constantly, but as I said, the lag is real. The only way to make it not lag is to actually pause the game, because it stops everything from moving, so the computer itself is not actually calculating anything. Right, let's not do that. Let's use the girder, because there's a track going across underneath. So we're just going around connecting different bits of road up. Off camera, I've done quite a lot of this. There's new roads quite a long way around the city that weren't there before. Not everything's been redone, but the majority of it has been redone. So what we're going to do is, over here at the airport, we're going to build a tunnel. I'm going to be careful where I build this tunnel, because I don't want to thwart future expansion plans. We do still have to fit some more rail platforms here as well, so I'm not going to go absolutely mental with it. Something a bit like this, perhaps? Something like that I see myself building. And the rail platforms can fit in next to this quite nicely. We can fit 6 platforms here if necessary. Probably won't build 6 platforms, but you never know. So we're going to do 3 lots of... Actually, we're going to do 2 lots of passenger, 2 lots of freight. Like so. And then at this little road here, it's going to be one way. So that's now connected up to be a road as well. The only thing this is missing is water. But I'm not going to add a dock, I don't think, unless I build it on this side. Even then, we've got high-speed tunnels running underneath there, so it's probably not going to be feasible. We'll come back to that, perhaps. Who knows? One thing I would like to build on this map is some highway, motorway type roads. So I'm going to do a little bit of demolition today to make that possible. Forgive me, everyone who's watching this right now, wondering what the hell I'm doing. But I'm going to demolish a straight line virtually the entire way through here. And we're going to build a network of almost like motorways that will go through the city, connecting up various points. Now I'm going to demolish areas even where there's no buildings in the way, because it creates the brown lines that I can then follow when I'm actually building the road. So that's going to be quite useful. Like this. We'll build some kind of tunnel under here because this is the metro line. Carry on this way. One thing that's good about roads is you don't have to worry too much about slopes, because road vehicles sort of bunch up one behind the other anyway, so you can just build pretty much as straight as you like. And we'll have a rail bridge going over there. We'll have this carry on like so. Now, how far are we from Central GS or Central Gardcity? Not too far. Okay, so we'll do that as the first road. What am I going to call this road? I have absolutely no idea right now, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to build the road first, and then I think we'll worry about names. So let's sort of terraform as we go. At this point here, I think I'm going to build it in a bit of a trench with some roads going either side. So let's actually do that. Here would be a good place to build this one going across like this. I'm going to demolish all of these bits here. Like so. All the way through like that. And like this. We're going to put a bridge in here. We will put slip roads in as well, don't worry. I am planning on putting in slip roads. It would be stupid not to, after all. In fact, here is a very good spot for a set of slip roads. Because we have ourselves almost like a roundabout type thing here. So let's do that. Okay, and we'll do something like this, perhaps. Have it slope up like that. Have you slope down, have you slope up. You're going to go that way. I mean, we already know that anyway. Continue the ditch. It's quite an ambitious project, this. As most things on this map. Very ambitious. I like to be ambitious. I don't like being boring. What's the point in being boring? You know, everyone else builds single roads with single vehicles, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not particularly exciting, I think is the right word for it. There's nothing new and interesting about it, so I'm going to try and jazz it up a little bit and do things that not many people have thought of doing. So I'd say something like that would do, and then we'll keep this going across because it then comes flat there. Okie dokie. So now we can actually build this going all the way along like this, and we can build this return one like so. This can then go like this. We'll keep this one going along like this. We need to lower the land here. I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to build the roads first, and then we'll do more slip roads. That one just came into my head, which is why I decided to build it there and then. But the rest of them, not so much. Alright, get rid of that, get rid of that. we'll have a set of tunnels here, I think, which will take us... This looks like another good spot for a set of slip roads, actually. So let's do that. Get rid of this and that. Get rid of you and you. Add this. You and you. Go bye-bye. Here, we'll slope the land down from here onwards. You'll be a bridge. You'll be a bridge. And then here and here, we'll have the slip roads. Whoops. There we go. So you're going to tunnel under there, you're going to go along like this. Tunnel, tunnel. And you're going to connect there. And this one is going to connect all the way up and under to there. Good. Now we'll carry on. Now at this point, I think because we're starting to get into the city, I might as well bring it up to the right level at least. Without these stupid hills. Something like this. Slope you down like that. Okay, set of bridges. We'll stagger the roads for this. We'll use the tide arch, why the heck not? And then again, we'll just do straight line across like this. And at this point, let's see. Up here would be a good place to finish this road actually. So let's see if I can keep this going right the way through this bit of town and over to Hendhead Cross. Or if I extend this roundabout out a little bit more, or have another roundabout a little bit further up, we can actually connect this on properly. Let's go to that as well. Okay. So this will come down here, this will come down here. I think a tunnel would be quite suited for this little section. So if I was to tunnel that there, that's too long. That's the right length. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to do a little bit of terraforming here. Lift that bit up, lift that bit up. That will then go there. This will then come up and across like this. This will come down and connect there. That one will come down and connect there. You will connect there. You will connect there. We'll probably do some little connections here in a second. Again, make this as flat as possible. So that makes that one flat. That makes that one flat. And that makes that one flat. There we go. And connect those up. Perfect. Right. One-way system. Like this. And then this is going to go all the way along. All the way along like this. All the way along like this. All the way along like this. I mean, you kind of get the idea because it's a motorway. And I'm going to use the phrase motorway. In my Skyline series I did say freeway quite a lot, but here I am going to say motorway because I am British. And in Britain we don't have freeways, we don't have highways, we have motorways. Although Australia, they drive on the left like we do, but they have freeways and highways. Australia's a very strange country. It's like what would happen if America and Britain had a baby type country. Because they drive on the left, and everything over there feels very English. But then, you know, they have adverts that you would find on TV in America, for example. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just, for me as a Brit, it's quite unusual to see that sort of thing. Let's go do a little crossover there. So this is more of an A road, this one really. It's not so much of a motorway as an A road. Dual carriageway, that's what we call them in Old Blighty. I'm just going to make these one way as well. The on-off ramps here. So what am I going to run on this? Well, buses obviously, coaches as well for more long distance travel. But I had a little bit of an idea for a hack. And not a hack as in cheating hack. Hack as in something that not many people would have thought of hack, but actually is quite crucial to transport in major cities, and that is the humble taxi. There are taxis on this game. They don't carry many people, as real life taxis don't. Maximum of 6 I think you can fit in a taxi. Anything bigger than that is technically classed as a minibus. But I'm going to have like a fleet of taxis running certain routes around the city. Sort of crept into my head one night when I was thinking about future episodes, and it felt like a really good idea to actually attempt that as an idea for transport in the city. So, as you know, we have this big freeway here, which technically, via some detours here and there, technically runs right the way through the heart of the city, all the way up to places like Fronthing Hill Central and Guard Hill and places like that. That's going to be one of our main bus routes, is from the airport to Guard Hill. The other main routes, let's see, we've got this sort of east to west route here. I'm going to have some north to south ones as well. This was a key one to build first because it connected the airport up with most other parts of the city, so it felt like a logical one to actually do. I'm just looking at where else I can link some roads up. If I do... Actually, let's do it. Come on. No. Here. It's like a straight line across. Gonna put a bridge in here. I'm gonna chuck in lots of bridges as well. Sort of hide the fact that there is a motorway here. Or an A road. A road. It's not a motorway, it's an A road. Gotta remember that. There's a big difference. There's a whole classification difference between a motorway and an A road in Britain. You do not want to confuse the two. The way of knowing, if you're in England, blue signs are for motorways, green signs are for dual carriageways. But some places, like where I live, the A1, which is a dual carriageway, is actually classed as the A1M and is built to motorway standard. There are others that do that, but that's the one that stands out for me. So, not all dual carriageways are A roads, and not all A roads are dual carriageways. It sounds really confusing, I know, but I promise you it makes sense. Could put another little set of slip roads here. Now these are bi-directional, so you can join and leave in either direction. It's just so that you can always make sure you're facing the right way. Over here was a little bit difficult because there's lots of roads being built alongside the dual carriageway here. Come on. But I say, this is a dual carriageway here. It's not a main motorway, so you can do crossovers like this as well if you want to. Here's a good spot for one as well. Just where the road will go straight across. And there'll probably be room for more in the future, but I don't want to dwell on this too much because I do want to actually start building in bus routes and taxi routes and things like that. So I don't want to be dawdling here for too long. Let's see, I think that'll do for now. Okay. So Gardcity St Mark is also going to be a key route. We're going to have some buses run there too. The idea is, we have a bus depot in the centre of Gardcity, and I always forget where it is. Over here. But we're going to build one down here as well for airport vehicles. So we've got all this room. Not just airport vehicles actually, but vehicles that will serve the western edge of the city. So I'm actually going to build this up like so. Must make sure that we've got room for our platforms here in our tracks. So I'm going to do that just as a reminder. So we're going to go up here, and we're going to go down here. This is going to be like our entrance and exit way. So that is one way, that is one way. What would be smart actually is to have a roundabout system here for vehicles coming in and out of the airport. Like this. So you are one way, you are one way, you are one way, you are one way. The other smart thing maybe would have been to put 2 tunnels in as well, but I'm really not going to worry about that right now. So this is going to come up here like this, and it's going to go like this. And it's kind of going to be a stretched out version of what we've already got elsewhere in the city. Something like this. With that there too. This is going to be a one-way street all the way down. There will be a depot at the end, and then here we're going to have buses on one side. I think we'll put lorries in this corner here, and then we'll put more buses up here like that. So this is going to be Penhattan Road Depot, as is this, and we're going to get some buses in. So let's go for cargo capacity and passengers. So we've got these things like the UK Autobus, which is always a good idea. I'm going to buy one of these for now for our first route. They hold 180 passengers, and I imagine it's going to be full for the majority of this journey. So we're going to do you, and you. Okie dokie. And then from here, it's going to run along the main road, and it's going to stop at key stops. So one of them will be let's just build this in quickly as well. Actually, let's one-way this whilst I'm here before I forget. So that and that are both going to be one-way because this is a roundabout, as we've said before. So there will be a stop somewhere over here, probably at Dintfield Park actually. Actually no, that's pointless because we've already got... There will be a bus station at Dintfield Park. Most of the big stations in the city now will have... what's the word I'm looking for? Bus stations. Most of the big stations will have bus stations. How did I forget that word? My god, my brain is just fizzling out at the moment. Honestly. I've just had a break as well. I don't know why I feel like I need another one. But, Dintfield South is probably going to be a good one, even though it's the first stop on the metro. So that's probably not a good place either. Why do I keep messing this up? How do I keep messing this up? This should not be that hard. I should have planned this a little bit more carefully. I want a bus station near this intersection though, to make this intersection actually worthwhile. Otherwise it sort of becomes a bit of a white elephant. If there's one thing I hate, it's white elephants. For those of you who don't know what a white elephant is, it's an expensive project that ends up just sat there not really doing anything. So I'd like to avoid those if possible. So let's put one there. Call it Dintfield. Yeah, we'll rename these in the future. So after this you're going to stop at Dintfield twice. Okay, and then you'll hop back on the main road. You'll toot along here a little bit. And I think we will have a bus stop here at Lenston. Lenston is a good candidate for one. So let's see if I can build... The reason Lenston is such a good candidate for a bus stop is because it serves 2 metro lines. So in my head at least it makes sense to have a bus station here. Although right now the logistics behind building it are a little bit complicated. There we go. And this is going to be a one-way street. Perfect. Okay, so above Dintfield we're going to stop at Lenston twice. So you see there's a big gap between these stops, which is kind of good because it's like an express bus. It's running on its own dedicated tracks, so that makes sense. We'll have another one over here at Courtbourne for the same reason. It serves more than one metro line. So again, in the old head of mine, that makes sense. Make sure that there's a road connection here. I'd rather build it on this side of the station than the other side, because there's a bit more room to maneuver on this side. I'm just trying to make sure these roads are a little bit more thought out. Not a big fan of anarchy roads. You get a lot of anarchy roads in this game, unfortunately. The AI loves to build stations in absolute chaos, which really does not make sense to me. But what can you do? So after Lenston, we're going to stop here twice at Courtbourne. After Courtbourne, we're going to come down to probably here, actually, Flartborough Market. Although I would like to come over to Trodinghatton and build a bus station at Trodinghatton, probably on top of this tunnel entrance here. I think that's a pretty good spot, if you ask me. This is going to be a big bus station. Lots of ins and outs. Like this, and like this. Okie dokie. Build these in, so Trodinghatton Central. Trodinghatton Central. And then this end of things is going to be for the lorries. Like that. So after Courtbourne, you're going to stop twice at Trodinghatton. You should be able to access via this main road. You can't actually. I'm going to have to do some jigging around with this road layout here. So we have to get rid of that. Get rid of that. That'll connect up there quite nicely. I could build like a little roundabout setup here as well. Something a bit like that. Build that there, build that there. Actually, let's elongate this a little bit more. So that will go there, that will go there. It's not quite the roundabout shape that I would like, but it's not terrible. And that will rebuild, obviously. Okie dokie. And then once you've stopped there, you'll get back onto the main road. Probably up here. Something like that. And then you'll go up into this section of the city. Again, if we put crossroad in here and a set of stops. I never like doing too much demolition, but it always ends up being a thing. But then I am redesigning a city in the process, so it's not terrible. It's just not ideal. Gonna make this one way as well. All these one-way systems will make sense at some point. This bit here, not necessarily one way, you can actually come down here and turn left. They will make sense at some stage in the future, I'm sure. We'll have a set of stops. Annoyingly, I'd quite like a set of stops there in the center. So let's reconfigure this again, shall we? Get rid of that, lower that. Do this. Get rid of that. Lower that. There we go. Lower you down, join you up there. Like so. You will now become like that, and then this will come straight across, that will go straight across, that will go in like... Oh, apparently I don't own that bit of road, which I don't think is terribly true. That did not mean to happen either. Like this. And, come on. There we go. and you will go there. Rename this one now because it's got petrol station and I don't like that name. And then after Flartborough, we're going to go all the way up here to Head Cross. We're not going to stop here, we're going to stop down at GSMA. Okay, and then it will run all the way back. Now, there's not many stops on the route, but it is quite a long journey. So, I think that sort of makes up for it, when you think about it. Plus, we've got all this little hanging around section here. So, this bit, of course, no loading. This bit service, this bit no loading, no unloading. And then the wait times, we're going to do 250 for all, with the exception of here where it's going to wait for 1,250. Okay, so we've got the Gardcity buses here. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to have local as a category, which this one is going to fall into, and that's going to go into Gardcity bus, and we're going to have express as another category, which this new one is going to go into. So let's change this to LB1 for local bus, and then we'll do a new one, express bus 1, GPA to GSMA, and that will fall into the express category, with this bus going into that category also. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Start with, set you to autofill, no speed limit, off you go. And that just about does it for today's episode, guys. I didn't get through half of what I wanted to because time is always against us, unfortunately. But what I'm going to do off camera is add in some more express bus routes using this main road. I might build a second main road. Trying to think, where is GSG? GSG is there. Yeah, we don't actually reach GSG because this stops here. So I might build a new one. Yeah, that's a good question actually. Where am I going to build it? I might bring it over here and then build one going north this way, and it'll cut through Reddingworth and Rundinghattan and maybe end over here somewhere. But I'm going to add in some taxi routes and things like that because I think that's a smart thing to do. I did not want to click that either. Good. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to follow this bus on its journey. It's going around the roundabout at the moment. Very good. I'm going to put some mail trucks in as well so we can deliver mail to other areas of the city. And I'm going to start setting up ready for a goods service because we're going to bring goods in soon to probably GSG and GSP in the goods platforms. And we'll have onwards travel from there. So we're going to have to set all that up ready as well. But until then, guys, and until Friday, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series. Jot some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.